Wildling is a movie directed by Fritz Bohm and stars a cast that includes Liv Tyler, Brad Dourif, and Belle Powley. And it's about, you know, it's hard to say what it's about. So in summary, it's a coming-of-age story involving werewolves. And this film is a weird one. The overarching plot is that Anna, played by Belle Powley, has grown up in the same room raised by Daddy, played by Dourif, and is told to never go outside, otherwise this thing called the Wildling might get her. But something happens and Anna is now out in the open world, a fish out of water, and is becoming a woman. All the while, strange things keep happening to her. You see, Daddy has been injecting her with something that stops her menstruation cycle for reasons that become clear later on. And now she's allowed to go through this transition period. She has to deal with both puberty and the everyday struggles of high school that come along with it. Now, this film is a really good concept, and for the first half it has intrigue and mystery, enough to keep us hooked in. Belle plays this curious character coming into her own, and she is fascinated by the simplest things. She is effectively a child in a teenager's body, and this sequence of events plays really well. The build also starts off really well, with small hints at what's to come, and in terms of the cinematography, there are some outright gorgeous shots, and I do love the symbolic innocence of always referring to death as the better place. There are some nice ideas played with in this movie. Sadly, the film derails very quickly. For starters, I just want to remove the elephant out of the room. Did that count as bestiality? That scene just didn't feel right with all that was established up until that point, and it only seems to serve as fuel for the final act, which is an absolute mess. But we will get to that. Right now, I want to talk about the characters and how none of their motivations make any sense. Daddy, for one minute he cares for Anna like his own daughter in his own weird little way, and in the next he just turns into this sociopathic asshole with not even the slightest hit of remorse. And Liv Tyler, who plays the town sheriff that takes Anna in, she has one conversation with her and automatically thinks she knows what's best for her, and then suddenly she turns cold on this character, and then the next she's just rolling with it. And the character of Ray is such a yes man, you can just tell he is only doing what the script is telling him to do. Bullet point, be a hard ass, be an asshole. Throw in a soppy moment, now you're into Anna. I honestly wish it was more developed than that, but you could literally bullet point those scenes as they happened. Also, I know as a teenager your hormones speak over your mind, but he is way too cool with running off with someone that not only acts more child than adult, which is quite weird in itself, but it also is known to have ripped someone's throat out by this point. Couple that with the fact of the change that she is going through at the moment, he seems a little bit too eager to wink wink nudge nudge. Ray is literally just going with the flow. Literally, it's like he isn't even there. In fact, it doesn't even feel like half the cast are trying here. The wolf guy, who is he? If you see the film, don't expect to learn about the wolf guy, because there is zero explanation for him. He just kind of shows up as and when he pleases. Honestly, I expect this film to do for werewolves what Let Me In did for vampires, because the change that Anna is going through is horrific, and she is terrified of what's happening to her. You feel bad for her throughout the first half, and if it kept the tone throughout that film, then maybe this could have worked. Alas, the film just had to switch gears, and the character motivations did 180 turns. And I don't want to spoil the climax, but it's so ham-fisted and cliche and just dumb that I honestly felt like I was watching another film. I absolutely hate ragging on an independent film, but when you take a concept like that and do what they did with it, it honestly just feels like a missed opportunity. Honestly, they could have played out similar beats to the story of Carrie and expanded on that, because we do not get enough of Anna adapting to school life, bearing in mind she has never spoken to anyone apart from her daddy. We see some girls tease her at one point, and she throws them a look, and that's all you get. This could have been a whole subplot to keep the film interesting and have more time to connect with Anna and sympathise with her, but the film is so quick to progress to the final act that we never get any real time to truly connect with her. Also, it shows its hand way too early with what's happening to her. The clues they place are so obvious and on the nose it is embarrassing. They could have easily just had her go to school as an oddball, not even a hint as to why she's been in that same room, then throughout the film have subtle hints of what's happening to her before she eventually gives in to it. I feel that would have been a much better told story. For what it's worth, Belle Powley is trying her hardest and is easily the MVP here. She has given her best with what she is given, and the makeup and practical effects are really good and highly appreciated in the CGI landscape. But when half your cast seem to be just phoning it in and your story falls to pieces halfway through, then there is little that can be done to save this film. Overall, Wildling is a disappointment of the highest order that had a lot of potential. I really wanted to like this film, but the redeemable factors are so few and far between, and the less said about the final act, the better. I mean, this film is cold and forgettable, which is a terrible shame considering the potential that it did have. So Wildling, has everybody seen it? Let me know down in the comments below, and hit that round subscribe button for more reviews coming all the time. This is That Spike Hair Podcast, signing off.